Hello, it's Blighty Otaku here, and welcome to the December 2017 Humble Monthly Bundle overview, which, well, is over a week overdue. No thanks to some issues I've been having with the internet. Since I've actually now moved into my new place, and I still have to do a video about that, but I've been asked to charge up the camcorder to actually do the recording. And, well, day one, managed to get the phone line in. Internet was supposedly going online on the same day, but nothing happened. Then it was supposed to go online on the 27th. Then it was supposed to go online on the 30th. And it actually did go online on the 30th, but I thought the master socket had been incorrectly wired because my phone, which was actually working, ended up not taking well to being moved. And I'm now down another £65 for an engineer visit. That was completely unnecessary, and all I had to do was power cycle the modem for it to re-establish a connection, because it wasn't looking for one to begin with when I had it plugged in, after I ended up spending £8 on a filter that I could have actually have gone a little bit further down the road and spent about £3.50 on. Well, we make all these mistakes, and all I have to do is learn from them. So, right, enough with the rambling about my life. It is now time to get on. Well, it is going to be the overview, plus a little bonus item I actually picked up when in the sort of like the offline period. At first, let's start off with, well, what we're getting as early unlocks for January, starting with Quantum Break. And yeah, this is one of the ones that, if I remember, a lot of people got hacked off about because it was only on. It was only originally on the Microsoft, the Windows App Store, and all that. It finally came down to Steam. And yep. So, in the aftermath of a split-second destruction that fractures time itself, two people find that they have changed and gained extraordinary abilities. One of them travels through time and becomes hell-bent on controlling this power. The other uses these new abilities to attempt to defeat him and fix time before it tears itself rapidly apart. And, well, what I'm actually going to do is, if I remember, I'm going to link to a short play video of this from one of the major YouTubers that I follow privately. As long as I actually remember. So, yeah. Next one. Just love this. Close one and you get the other. That's nice. So, yeah. Next one is The Long Dark. Yep. Yep. Load of reviews. Yeah, welcome to the Quiet Apocalypse. There's a wind red. Survival exploration. Yeah, so survival game. Yeah. So we have one from a major publisher, another one from an indie developer in The Long Dark, and we have Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3. Ugh. And yeah, with this, I'm actually going to be discussing the Nouveau Anti-Tamper later on in this. As I know this will probably get me a load of crap and a load of dislikes. I really don't see the issue with the Nouveau. Yeah, back on Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3 is the third early unlock. And, well, I think this is probably one of the other... Yeah, this is probably one of the... this is a very slated mixed review. Although I don't really have much knowledge of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Although I do actually have one of the more recent Total War games, which I think is somewhat on this, or maybe wrong, maybe 5 miles of wrong, but yeah, that is early unlock number 3. And now on to the meat and potatoes, which will be the bulk of the games that you get with the bundle, starting with, well, what was the early unlock, which is H1Z1. A game which seems to have been very heavily slated, has been in early access for, well, over a year, coming on for 2 years. Yeah, and it is a battle royale style game. And, well, if you could probably see that little, my little Steam icon in the bottom, yep, I'm actually downloading it as I record this. And for anyone who's wondering, I'm actually getting about 24 megabits a second down. Well, I should be getting at least 40. And I'm going to have to wait at least another week, probably a lot longer, because what I'm actually going to do is swap out the microfilters. Yep, and, well, let's get back onto this. Yep, H1Z1, Battle Royale shooter. I mean, what is there to actually say? Probably would have been, as I say, they probably would have been better off putting in PUBG. Though I've never really played it, and I've only ever watched it on Twitch and YouTube. Right. Number 2, well, in the order I've actually put them in, is Rivals of Aether. I don't know if I'm actually pronouncing that correctly. It's, well, I think most of this is sort of like in the fighting realm, because this is just an indie fighting game, 2D fighter. Yep, so, yep, various modes. These are all, yep, rivals. Well, I'm trying to make this as short as possible. Yeah, but very positive, and it's only released in March this year. Right, and, well, we're going from a general 2D fighting to a, well, something of a 2.5D fighting experience with Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma Extend. And actually, I own this on the PlayStation 3. And I was actually thinking of, yeah, trying to sit down on the bed doing this lot. It's not very good on the backside. Really need to get some cushioning. Yeah. Once again, going off track. But yeah, this is actually the 6th installment in the Blaze Blue series. Although the only ones I know of are, well, Calamity Trigger, which I own on the PlayStation 3, Continue and Shift Extend, which I own on the PlayStation 3, Chrono Phantasma Extend, which I own on the PlayStation 3 as well, and Blaze Blue Central Fiction, which I don't own on the PlayStation 3. And I actually looked at the back of the box on it, and it seems to require a 20 gig install. So that can go kiss my backside, especially since my PlayStation 3 is all still stock and it still has its original, I think it's about 180 gig hard drive, and that's practically full up. Yeah, because it says that it's a 6th installment, but there's only 4 here. Although I think there was if I remember, there was a original Continuum Shift, which would make 5, and I think there was a original version of Chrono Phantasma, which would make 6. Although Central Fiction would actually be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, still a few versions missing in my eyes, unless the PlayStation Portable is classed as a separate version. Yep. It's a combination of 2D fighting action and visual novel. Yep. So, yeah, has a few extras, and it also has some extra DLC that you probably wouldn't get in the original console versions without having to pony up some money. Yep, also get a soundtrack, though I haven't checked to make sure that is actually installed, because I actually do have this installed. Yep, so it's a continuation on from the original of the Blaze Blue series, with new features like the My Room and, well, stylish mode. I think that's actually in the original. New stage characters and additional scenarios, and remix heart and gag scenarios, which I think is actually added into this variant, the PC release of the game. Alright, enough gushing like a fangirl, even though I'm a guy, and, well, I'm crap at practically every single game around. Let's get on to the next game, which is Next Machina. Or Next Machina, or whatever. But this is rather interesting, as it's actually developed and published by House Marquee, which were all actually involved in the Stardust games for the PlayStation 3, for the PlayStation consoles. And I know that they've actually released Super Stardust Ultra for the PlayStation 4. Yep. Twin stick shooter from Robotron Smash TV. Next Machina Focuses on pure action, voxel destruction, and competition in the distant co-op themed future. 100 challenging levels in 60 different intense worlds. Ugh. Local co-op multiplayer. Yet there is a lot of probably another one of these games that I'm thinking of. Next gen sign, distance field, ray tracing, and morphing tech. Yep. Voxel driven, significantly reworked version of the House Marquee engine. So if the Super Stardust games were written on were actually using the same game engine, it is pretty much, yeah. Ramble on, ramble on. Next one is the Sexy Brutale. This is a murder mystery story. This is a murder mystery game with a difference because everyone gets killed. Then at midnight, the clock rewinds and everything goes back to normal, and you have to save everyone's life. Yep. Yeah, very positive reviews. As I say, as I'll probably end up, because I might just, with all of this, just do standalone reviews on anything, or just do playthroughs to make things a bit easier. Oh, probably not so easy on the hard drive. Yeah. So, right. Next up is Strath Millennium Edition. Yeah, well, bloodiest roguelike first-person shooter. Looks like it's might have a bit of a Halo in it, but yeah. Looks like it comes from that era as well. Yep, cloud save and gamepad updates. Partial controller support. Probably better on a mouse and keyboard, especially since it's an FPS. And, as you probably know, I suck major balls. Yeah. I probably won't be doing any playthroughs of this with all of that. Well, unless the gore can actually be turned off. Does not have lives or checkpoints. Oh, and it's RNG based. Yep. So, if you die, you die. You start at the beginning, and everything resets, everything changes. RNGesus is a nice part of this game. Yep. Right, so, next, I'll try and sort all of this garbage out. Passepartout, the starving artist. Yeah. I think it's been having problems trying to load up the pictures. Yeah, put you in the shoes of a French artist trying to navigate the beautifully colourful, confusing art scene. Paint and sell your own art to survive your expensive wine and baguette addiction. Yeah, but then again, if you're on a French sub, they use stale baguettes as torpedoes. No, not really. I'm just trying to inject some humour into this video. That's probably gone on for well too long. Paint your own masterpieces. Even you can become the next Van Gogh. Battle with subjectivity and try to charm a variety of self-proclaimed art connoisseurs, losing your artistic integrity. Survive your wine and baguette bills. Will your addiction to baguettes be your downfall? Unlock fancier galleries and customers. Experience the French art world through a living puppet theatre. Includes an amazing soundtrack by our favourite grooving dinosaurs. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go Jingles and call them Dave. Yep, so that's, well, the main batch of games. But, well, there were three that pretty much were, well, could be considered as humble originals. And it's another beat 'em up called Way of the Passive Fist. Yep, mysterious figure only known as Wanderer travels across the distant planet of Zircon 5, a once prosperous mining colony that is now on the brink of destruction in the face of its dying star. By using the passive fist technique, the Wanderer can outlast any foe by deflecting their attacks and draining their stamina. What if colonists disappearing and maniacs running wild? The Wanderer must stand firm, stay calm, and fight for answers in this unique modern brawler. Yeah. Yeah. And, well, as it says, available early 2008. If you actually get it through Humble, you actually just get the pure download DRM free. And this, brings me on to the game, which, well, like Blazblue, Chrono Phantasma Extend, or whatever, I actually have on the PlayStation 3, and after I heard that it was being released in a full HD and 4K remake for PlayStation 4, which I don't have, and PC, I decided to make sure I got it in the early point of its orders, since I actually found out that it was only, if without the 10% discount that I actually got for the sort of like the day one purchase, and you can actually see the title in the tab. When I'll close this, it is Star Ocean: The Last Hope 4K and Full HD Remaster. Because when this game was originally released on the Xbox 360, it was only done up to 720p, which, when the international version was released for the PlayStation 3 which added the Japanese voices back in, and a few extras which are also in this version, it still only came as a 720p resolution, and they have, quite frankly, remastered it up to 4K and 1080p. Although, when you actually look at the intro video to the game, it looks like they've done a really poor job of upscaling the video, because it looks really, really grainy. And yeah, but the only reason why I was actually going to segue into this anyway, but because of the information on that, on one of the humble monthly bundle games for January, because this also includes Denuvo Anti-Tamper, and I've actually had this game installed, and it runs, even though the minimum requirements are a Core i3-2100. And for all of those who aren't in the know, that is actually a dual core with hyperthreading. And all I'm running it on is a crappy Celeron, which is 2 cores, 2 threads. And it works pretty well. If for the occasional freeze, very unoccasional freeze, then again you never know, that might actually be Denuvo calling home and hanging everything up. Yeah, hopefully, if I can actually do capture of this, and I'm not going to, and it won't end up getting nailed by the copyright mafia, then I might actually do a dedicated playthrough of the whole game from start to finish, because, well, I've actually started a playthrough already, but that was just to test things out. Yeah. So this practically has nothing to do with the Humble Monthly Bundle. I just wanted to mention it. And, well, yeah, as it says, because people are complaining that Denuvo impacts performance, well, I'm running a Celeron with 8 gigs of RAM and a 1050 Ti, and it runs very well at 60 FPS. So, yeah, that is that, and that is that, with only 0.1 gigs to actually download in just under a minute for H1Z1, the sort of like the standard version. And wow, I've been speaking for about half an hour on this lot, so yep, methinks it's time to end this. So, that's it for this month, and hopefully normal service should resume shortly. Although this room is still very much a work in progress. And I'll probably mention that again when I do. Yep, there we go. Steam has finished downloading H1Z1. Yeah. Still have a couple more games to download, and because I don't really need them, I've actually ended up getting rid of COD 3 and clear the years out. COD 3 and NBA 2K16, since I really don't need them, and they've practically freed up about 100 gig on the Toshiba. Although I'm still gonna be still working on this lot to make them proper gaming systems. Well, time marches on. I really need to put this in the can, upload it, and make sure I get all that stuff linked up. So, this is Blighty Otaku, signing off. Until next time, I'll catch you laters.